Hello and welcome to Deft and Dorky. We're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Talk about it.
How's it going? We're
That's so
back. We had
good.
a
We back.
we had an off week, but that's okay. We're
Yeah.
back now.
Summer. Summer
Summer.
vacation.
Summer happens.
COVID.
COVID happens too.
Yeah. Did we have to take
Uh,
a break? I didn't.
yeah, we
Maybe
missed
not.
1 week, but that's okay.
Oh,
We're back on track.
sorry.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, so today we're going to do another subclass breakdown. It'll probably end up being two-parter like the last one was, but that's cool. Today we're doing Sorcerer.
yeah, we
I'm
are.
going to talk about some sorceress origins, and which ones
Mhm.
are coolest for role playing. I gotta get my notepad out so I can
It's
take
so
scores.
Yeah. Keep score, because that's what this is about. Winning and losing.
That's
Looking
right.
at you, wild magic sorcerer.
Why
Looking
are
at
you
you.
looking at me?
Oh, man. Just the class in general. I play a sorcerer in our campaign, and there's some fun things you could do, and there's some wild limitations that feel real bad.
All right, well, let's
But
jump
anyway,
right in. I will read the first
yeah.
one. We can take turns. First one up, Aberrant Mind.
Ooh.
An alien influence has wrapped its tendrils around your mind, giving you psionic power. You can now touch other minds with that power and alter the world around you by using it to control the magical energy of the multiverse. Will this shine power from you as a hopeful beacon to others, or will it be a source of terror to those who feel the stab of your mind and witness the strange manifestations of your might? Let's find out.
Let's do that.
You get a little D6 table for some flavor stuff.
Hmm.
It's all pretty cool, but you could make up your own, and it would be just as cool.
One of them uses a flump, so
It does.
there you go.
All right, let's go down here to the spell section. You get Arms of Hadar, which is typically a warlock spell. Dissonant Whispers, Mind Sliver at 1. 3, you get Calm Emotions, Detect Thoughts. 5th, you get Hunger of Hadar and Sending. 7th, you get Everard's Black Tentacles and Summon Aberration. And then 9th, you get Rary's Telepathic Bond and Telekinesis. So you get some typical warlock-only spells to sort of fit the theme of crazy tentacles hitting you and stuff.
Plus, real quick note, you get these for free, and it doesn't count against the number of sorcerer spells you know. Like,
That's
as a
true.
sorcerer, drives me nuts that some of these sorceress things, some of them get free stuff, and that's huge because you only get one additional spell per level. So, like,
So I guess
already
that is
this
a
thing gets bonus
strong
points.
consideration. That is a good point. Level 1, Telepathic Speech. You can form a telepathic connection between your mind and the mind of another. As a bonus action, choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You and the chosen creature can speak telepathically with each other while the two of you are within a number of miles of each other equal to your charisma modifier. So typically going to be 1 to 5 miles.
Crazy.
To understand each other, you must speak mentally in a language the other knows. So that's a little more specific than other telepathic stuff sometimes
Yeah.
is. Telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your sorcerer level, so a maximum of 20 minutes is not terribly long, but as long as they're within 30 feet of you, you can just re-up it. It ends early if you are incapacitated or die, or if you use this ability to form a connection with a different creature. So level 1, that's cool. I don't
Yeah.
know that it's amazing, but it's cool.
Yeah.
You don't get another thing with sorcerers until level 6.
Yeah,
So
which is crazy.
level 6, when you get psionic sorcery. When you cast any spell of first level or higher from your psionic spells feature, which is the free ones you get, you can cast it by expending a spell slot as normal or by spending a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level. So that's like a cheaper conversion rate, essentially, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
If you cast a spell using sorcery points, it requires no verbal or somatic components. So you get an even bigger discount because you get subtle spell, essentially.
Yeah, and it requires no material components either. Well, unless they're consumed. So, for all of you that keep track of your material components, good for you.
But yeah, essentially
For
it's
the
like
rest of us,
it's a cheaper conversion, and you get on top of it, you get
yeah,
subtle spell,
which
which
is
is cool.
pretty dope. Yeah, things I'm looking at them like calm emotions, detect thoughts. Like subtle spell is one of those like RP things, right? Like, oh, the person notices that you're casting a spell.
Hmm.
Calm emotion, detect thoughts. Like, who cares if you subtle spell Hunger of Hadar, unless you're silenced, I guess, or your hands are tied.
Yeah.
But sending, some of these are pretty nice to be able to cast like that.
Yeah, particularly in the campaign where people are looking for spells.
Yeah, yeah. Like ours.
Yes, just like ours.
Yeesh.
Also at 6th level, you get psychic defenses. You gain resistance to psychic damage, and you have advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened.
Yeah.
That
All right.
one's fine, I guess.
You become half elf.
Yeah. 14th level, Revelation in the Flesh. You can unleash the aberrant truth hidden within yourself. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 or more sorcery points to magically transform your body for 10 minutes. For each sorcery point you spend, you can gain one of the following benefits of your choice, the effects of which will last until the transformation ends. You can see, okay, so 1, you can see any invisible creature within 60 feet of you, provided it isn't behind total cover. Your eyes also turn black or become writhing sensory tendrils.
Ew.
That's disgusting.
I can't see anymore, but I can feel it with my eyes.
2, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and you can hover.
That's pretty good.
As you fly, your skin glistens with mucus or shines with an otherworldly light. Also gross.
Yeah.
3, you gain a swimming speed equal to twice your walking speed, and you can breathe underwater. Moreover, gills grow from your neck or fan out from behind your ears, just like in Waterworld. Your fingers become webbed, or you grow writhing cilia that extend through your clothing. Again, yuck.
Cilia.
Number
That's
4.
Good word, cilia.
Your body, along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying, becomes slimy and pliable. You can move through any space as narrow as 1 inch without squeezing, and you can spend 5 feet of movement to escape from any from non-magical restraints or being grappled. So that's
kind of cool.
That seems like the most original thing so far that we've seen.
Bonus action, 1 sorcery point, or you can get all 4 of those things. I guess.
Yeah, bonus action, 4 sorcery points, and you can just be Tentacle Man, I guess.
I am Tentacle Man. And at 14th level, you have 14? Isn't a sorcery point for level?
Yeah. So that's for,
Yes,
that's
that's
for
correct.
10 minutes?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. It's really cool. I love the flavor of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how like powerful it is mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
The sea invisible creatures is probably the strongest of those as far as what spell slot it would take to mimic that effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cool. It's definitely like, if I'm role playing it, I'm definitely looking at that and be like, ooh yeah, where can I looking for places to use that.
Yeah. That is pretty dope.
All right, 18th level, Warping Implosion. You can unleash your aberrant power as a space warping anomaly. As an action, you can teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 120 feet of you. Immediately after you disappear, each creature within 30 feet of the space you've left must make a strength save against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d10 force damage and is pulled straight toward the space you left, ending in an unoccupied space as close to your former space as possible. On a success, the creature takes half as much and isn't pulled. Once you use that feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 5 sorcery points to use it again.
Pretty cool.
Yes, pretty cool.
That's pretty
very situational, though.
Yeah.
Typically, as a sorcerer, you do not want to be that close to things. Although 30 feet is a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was thinking like the amount of times like, yeah, you should probably have what do you call it? Misty Step on you. So
Yeah.
like a lot of like casters want to have that just in case they need to get away. So it's like, well, there's a free Misty Step that does damage too. So,
Yep. The downside is 30 feet is so large
yeah.
that you're likely to get an ally or two
Yeah, that's their
in there
problem.
as well.
That's their problem.
Don't stand close to me.
It's too bad that Sorcerer's level 20 is such dog doo-doo. So you get 4 points back on a short rest at level 20 for a Sorcerer.
Yeah, it is really bad, especially since they added items recently that do that.
Like, do that? Yeah. Yep.
But it is
Anyway.
what it is.
It is what it is.
So yeah, Aberrant Mind, what do you think? Mechanically, I think it's probably... I mean, it'll obviously take reading through more of these to sort of stack it up against it. But
Yep.
it seems like reasonable. It doesn't seem particularly weak.
No. I think it's...
Revelations and the Warping Implosion is cool. The
Yeah.
Psionic Sorcery is kind of cool. The Psionic Defenses, I feel, is pretty weak. Like, you can get that through a race.
Yeah. It feels like... You know how sometimes you feel like, here's the 6th level feature, and we're just going to throw this on top of it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So...
And the level 1 thing is also... I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. But it feels very lackluster once you get a little bit higher level. Right?
I feel like communication is one of those things where it's very table dependent, you know?
That
Like
is
how your party is forced to communicate with one another. That, you know, like you watch things like Critical Role, it's like, dude, you gotta have somebody with message or sending or whatever, you know, because they're always very cognizant of like talking with each other and around other people. But like sometimes it's like, oh wow, we go and do that. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So I think I'll start off with giving this a mechanically a B plus. Roleplay wise, though, I think I do like it a lot. I don't know. Again, this is one that's. I feel like this one you could even reskin if it didn't actually fit your campaign.
Yeah.
Like the stuff doesn't feel so specific. Like the mechanical effects don't feel so specific that they couldn't be reskinned if you needed to. But even without reskinning it, I feel like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think if you get creative, you can get away from like the whole Cthulhu theme, you know?
Yeah.
Like Mind Flayers and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I say, I mean, like any of these are automatically going to get like a half grade bump for me if they give you spells. Just like mechanically, it's so like, oh, sweet. I don't have to pick up Detect Thoughts because I just get it for free. So I'll say mechanically maybe like a B minus. B. I'll say B. Okay. And then like RP. It's definitely a better RP class than mechanical class for me. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with B mechanically, and A RP is what I'm gonna go with. That's my.
I'll do BA minus. So and that's just because for me personally, I don't really care about Cthulhu stuff. So.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you want to take the next one?
Clockwork Soul. The cosmic force of order has suffused you with magic. That power arises from Mechanus or a realm like it, a plane of existence shaped entirely by clockwork efficiency. You, or someone from your lineage, might have become entangled in the machinations of the Modrons, the orderly beings who inhabit Mechanus. Mechanus? Mechanus. Mechanus.
Anus.
Mac anus. Ooh. Perhaps your ancestor even took.
If you got a mech anus, you never have to worry about spelling diarrhea.
Yeah, dude. For real. Yeah, before that was. I complained about how hard it is to spell diarrhea, everybody. Okay. Nobody knows why you're bringing that up.
Nope, it was just going to be a mystery, but I'm glad you filled them in.
Well, it seemed very weird.
Yes, it was.
I have a 1-year-old, ladies and gentlemen, and she has diarrhea right now. And I was like, how the freak do you spell this word? Anyway. Write in the comments below the words you hate to spell.
Like mech anus.
Like mech anus.
That's how it's
Oh
spelled. It
man.
says mech anus.
It is how it's spelled. Gotta get extra
continue.
loot for that one. Perhaps your ancestor even took part in the Great Modron March. Whatever its origin within you, the power of order can seem strange to others, but for you, it is a part of a vast and glorious system. First level, Clockwork Soul feature. Clockwork Magic. So this is where you get additional spells as well. So instant, grade bump. It also says that whenever you gain a sorcerer level, you can replace one spell you gain from this feature with another spell of the same level. So that's kind of nice. Oh, the new spell must be an abjuration or transmutation spell from the sorcerer, or warlock, or wizard list. Interesting limitation, but there it is.
Yeah, interesting that it's can be from the warlock list as well.
Yeah. Was that in the previous one where it had to be like you can?
That is a good question. I will look.
You can replace. Yes, and it must be divination or enchantment.
There's divination enchantment. And this one's transmutation
and abjuration.
And abjuration. Okay.
Okay. The spells you can get are Alarm, Protection from Evil and Good. 3rd level, Aid, Lesser Restoration. 5th level, Dispel Magic, Protection from Energy. 7th level, Freedom of Movement, Summon Construct. That's cool. 9th level, Greater Restoration, or Wall of Force.
I hate summon spells.
Yeah, no DM like summon spells. In addition, and then there's a D6 where you can like choose like they call it manifestations of order. So like flavor things like, the hands of a clock spinning your eyes or whatever. So, all right, first level feature, Restore Balance. Your connection to the plane of absolute order allows you to equalize chaotic moments. When a creature you see within 60 feet of you is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can use your reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage and disadvantage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. I love that. And you gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. 60 feet. It's like it's like silvery barbs that people feel okay about.
Yeah, that's kind of like that. Yeah, the only thing that's I like the feature. The only sort of catch in it is that, and you can obviously just talk to your DM about this, but having to people have to get used to announcing whether they're going to roll with advantage or disadvantage, because it says is about to roll a d20. Yeah. So don't be like, oh well, he failed with advantage, I will use my thing and make him re-roll. No, don't do that. But I like the feature. I think it's cool.
I think Bastion of Law, 6th level, Clockwork Soul feature. You can tap into the grand equation of existence. Man, look at that. You can tap into the grand equation of existence to imbue a creature with Shimmering Shield of Order. As an action, you can expend 1 to 5 sorcery points to create a magical ward around yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you. The ward lasts until you finish a long rest or until you use this feature again. The ward is represented by a number of d8s equal to the number of sorcery points spent to create it. When the warded creature takes damage, it can expend a number of those dice, roll them, and reduce the damage taken by the total rolled on those dice. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
So you basically give people a shield of d8s. That's neat. Finish a long rest. The ward lasts until you finish or use the feature again. How many times can you use it?
I think it's just you can, because you spend sorcery points. That's the resource. I think
so. There's no limit.
Yeah, you're limited by your sorcery points, I believe.
Interesting. Okay.
The only thing that feels a little off as far as RP there is that it's random, because you're rolling d8s, whereas Mechanus is like, and the whole clockwork theme seems to be more exact, less random. But I like the feature. It just doesn't feel like it necessarily fits. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how you would change that. I'm not sure.
I mean, it could just be like a set number, I guess, based like
Yeah.
5
One
points per sorcery point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I get
mean,
people like to roll dice, but and that's fine.
you could take the average of whatever D8 is, so like
Yeah, 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4.5, I think technically.
4.5 technically. Yeah. That would be really funny if they leaned into that. It's like you get 4.5 per sorcery point because that's the exact average. So,
But I like it. It feels mechanically relevant.
yes. I think it's kind of a cool ability regardless. So,
Yeah, I agree.
but Trance of Order. You gain the ability to align your consciousness to the endless calculations of Mech Anus. As a bonus, I will never not be able to see that.
It's endless calculations too.
So much tinkering around. As a bonus action, you can enter the state for 1 minute for the duration. Attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage, and whenever you make an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower on the d20 as a 10. Once you use this bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 5 sorcery points to use it again. So
that seems super cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
That seems mechanically very strong.
Right.
Yeah, rolls against you can't benefit from advantage, and whenever you make a d20 check, attack rolls, ability check, saving throw, any of those, you can't roll lower than a 10.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's incredible, actually.
You know what would make it broken as hell?
What's
is
that?
if they allowed you to do this as a reaction too. That would be
that would be a little busted, I think.
That would be, yeah. But either way, kind of cool.
It's still a bonus. It's not even an action. It's a bonus action. It's really strong.
You know, it would be like, for whatever reason, okay, Dota 2 fans out there, Clockwork has like Ag Scepter upgrade, like overclock or whatever. Like in my head, I'm like, make this a reaction, but at the end of the minute, you like suffer the effect of losing haste, essentially, like lose a turn or whatever.
For a minute.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. Anyway, 18th level Clockwork Soul feature. Exactly, ratchet up to Mech Anus. Clockwork Cavalcade. You summoned. Isaac, you're not gonna like this.
It's not as bad as you think.
Oh, okay. You summon spirits of order to expunge disorder around you. As an action, you summon the spirits in a 30-foot cube originating from you. The spirits look like Modrons or other constructs of your choice. The spirits are intangible and invulnerable, and they create the following effects within the cube before vanishing. The spirits restore up to 100 hit points, divided as you choose among any number of creatures of your choice in the cube. That's pretty good. 100 HP.
Yeah.
Any damaged objects entirely in the cube are repaired instantly. That would. Could you imagine using this for that?
Be a very specific thing, but yeah.
Every spell of 6th level or lower ends on creatures and objects of your choice within the cube.
So it's a really strong dispel magic.
Yeah, for real. Once you use this action, you can't use it again unless you spend 7 sorcery points.
At that point, you've got 18 of them. So
yeah. Pretty cool.
I think that's a very cool effect.
Yes.
It does seem like that damaged objects entirely. I love that flavor, but that does seem like a very, very situational thing.
Would you allow someone to repair like a magical item? Like, imagine being like, oh, you have a quest to restore these 2 sides of the broken like thing, and it's critical to my campaign. And you're like, well, I'm level 18. Boop, it's better.
That seems kind of cheap to me, but
yeah,
it would have to depend, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I like this mechanically feels fun to me.
Yeah.
RP wise, I like where it's going, but I feel like it doesn't actually lean into like the other stuff set up for Mechanus.
Yeah.
Like the efficiency, the accuracy, the pinpoint. It's set, not random aspects.
Yeah. What about this is like, combating the nature of the chaotic universe. You know.
Yeah, that is what I don't under. It doesn't fit. I feel like they could have done. I feel like this could be not Clockwork Soul. This could be something else.
Yeah.
And it would
If you told
fit
me
better.
Yeah, if you told me that this was in the next one that we're about to read, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Yes, I agree with that.
but
RP
anyway,
wise, it sounds super cool. Like I won't, but it just
yeah,
doesn't feel like the mechanical part of it necessarily fits.
right.
Yeah, so this is one that if I were to play it and really, and depending on the campaign and stuff, this one is one that I feel like could be reskinned to be even better.
Yeah,
But I do like it.
it does feel like we have this cool ability. Now let's write the flavor text to justify it.
Yeah.
So,
I think mechanically this one's a B plus. The previous one's a B. I think I like this one a little bit more.
yeah, I think it's really freaking good, dude. That first level feature, like, just it's it's silvery barbs, but everyone feels okay about it. I don't feel cheap using that. And the shield thing is so cool.
The 6th level thing like allows you to be a support character in some regard, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with this.
RP wise, I don't know how to rate this one because it doesn't like if we're going purely off of the like RP via the flavor text, I don't think it's very good. That doesn't mean that I don't like the idea of a Clockwork Soul. I just don't feel like I think this one needs like an asterisk.
Yeah. Definitely different. But I'm cool with it. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll give it a B plus. I think that I'm gonna go with B plus just because it doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right there.
Well, and one thing I will say is like, is there any other class that has this kind of like dynamic to it? You know?
You mean like the taking the advantage disadvantage sort of rule?
No, just pure thematic elements. Like, does any other class have a subclass that is like, you know?
I mean, I think closest would just be like the class of Artificer, right?
Right.
But otherwise, no, I don't think so.
That is kind of a funny theme of these subclasses, is that it's just kind of like, I want to be a sorcerer, but I want to do what that class does a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the next one, same thing.
Sounds fun to play. It just doesn't feel like it fits completely.
Isn't this what Joe is playing? Like, mostly
yes,
Warlock,
Joe,
but he dipped into this?
Joe dipped into Clockwork Soul.
Cool. That's dope.
All right. Next up.
Next
did you what was your RP grade for that one?
Oh, so mechanically I'll give this one this is better than Aberrant Soul in my opinion. So I'll give this a B plus, and then mechanically I will give this an same thing, A minus. Like, there's cooler things, but this is pretty cool. So
okay. All right, moving on. Divine Soul. Sometimes the spark of magic that fuels a sorcerer comes from a divine source that glimmers within the soul. Having such a blessed soul is a sign that your innate magic might come from a distant but powerful familial connection to a divine being. Perhaps your ancestor was an angel transformed into a mortal and sent to fight in a god's name. Or your birth might align with an ancient prophecy, marking you as a servant of the gods, or a chosen vessel of divine magic. A divine soul with a natural magnetism is seen... Is that what it said? Natural magnetism. Yep. Is seen as a threat by some religious hierarchies. As an outsider who commands sacred power, a divine soul can undermine an existing order by claiming a direct tie to the divine. That's interesting. I had never really considered that. In some cultures, only those who can claim the power of a divine soul may command religious power. In these lands, that is a fun word. I don't know that I've ever seen this word before. Ecclesiastical. Ecclesiastical. Thank you.
Ecclesiastical.
Ecclesiastical.
Yep.
Jeez, I hate when I come to a word I don't know. Those positions are dominated by a few bloodlines and preserved over generations. So right off the bat, the consideration that the vast majority of those who wield divine power get it through worship and essentially being granted that power from a divine being, whereas this guy is born with divine power is an interesting story thing that I failed to really take advantage of in our campaign, but I maybe should have.
This person has the spirit inside of them.
Yeah.
They
Don't really get an extra spell list. They get one extra spell.
No, they don't.
They get one extra spell, and it's
some
based on
bull.
based on your alignment.
On your alignment. But you can replace it. This is kind of what I chose to do. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, you can replace it with a cleric spell, so it's fine.
Fine.
Starting at first level, favored by the gods. Starting at first level, divine power guards your destiny. If you fail a saving throw or miss with an attack roll, you can roll 2d4 to add it to the total, possibly changing the outcome. Once you've used this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. So that's a one-time deal, but it's 2d4, so it's like bless plus. And that's for saving throws or attack rolls. That's pretty strong. The fact that it's only once per short rest is, but I mean, in theory, if you also blessed yourself, you could have 3d4.
Yeah.
If your DM lets you stack them.
How do you feel about, so this is something I feel like happens a lot with sorcerers. You can change the outcome. It doesn't feel a little like, I don't know. Part of me feels like that's a little cheese, you know? Like,
well, you have inherent magical ability.
I just mean from like a metagaming standpoint, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, I failed it? Okay, I'm going to do... We'll talk about it more later with some other stuff. Because I just feel like,
okay.
Was that enough? No? Okay, I'll do it again. Is that enough now? No? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That kind of is a sorcerer theme, maybe. We'll see as we go through. 6th level, empowered healing. Starting at 6th level, the divine energy coursing through you can empower healing spells. Whenever you or an ally within 5 feet of you rolls dice to determine the number of hit points a spell restores, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll any number of those dice once, provided you aren't incapacitated. You can use this feature only once per turn. That's cool. Certainly not broken. It's not it's not terribly strong, but it's cool.
Yeah, I don't, it's something that's just like anybody within 5 feet of you, like, how helpful is that?
It's for when you're cure woundsing people, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird to me. Like, I feel like just make it yourself. Like, anytime that you do this, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Like 5 feet.
It gives you a little more. They're like, if you're touching somebody, you could use it.
I'm next to... Well, no, I like whenever you or an ally within you rolls dice to determine number of hit points. So like, I'm standing right next to my cleric, so their healing is just as good. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Oh, I wish you were saying, yeah.
I wish it was within like 30 feet or whatever, or just say not at all, and then somehow make it a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now, because I was thinking like it's whenever the thing that is getting healed is within 5 feet of you. No, but it's whenever a thing within 5 feet of you casts a healing spell.
Yeah, whoever's rolling it, right? So,
yeah.
Which is usually the person casting it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that, like, I think the highest is a D8, the highest healing thing. There's nothing that's just like you heal.
So. I don't think there's any D10 or D12.
So if you think about, like, I mean, if you get a particularly crappy roll, like, I'm going to use a 4th level, healing in D&D kind of sucks. Let's be honest.
It does. The game is not balanced around healing. It's bouncing around
Yeah.
damage.
It's also incredibly broken when it's just like, you are just as effective at 1 hit point or 91 hit points. So, or you're down. So, it's interesting stuff. All right.
But yeah, it does not feel particularly strong, but I do like the idea behind it.
At least it's cheap.
Yeah.
Like 1 sorcerer point is not a lot.
Yep. Although it kind of is at 6th level.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get a point back with the 1st level spell or whatever. It's like,
yeah, I suppose.
Whatever.
Otherworldly wings. Starting at 14th level, you can use a bonus action to manifest a pair of spectral wings from your back. While the wings are present, you have a flying speed of 30 feet. The wings will last until you're incapacitated, you die, or you dismiss them as a bonus action. The affinity you choose for your divine magic feature determines the appearance of the spectral wings. Eagle wings for good or law, bat wings for evil or chaos, and dragonfly wings for neutrality.
Ooh.
So 14th level, you get to fly for... How long does it say?
As long as you want, until you're incapacitated, die, or dismiss them.
Huh. So 14th level, you can fly. Okay.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
See you later.
So I'm gonna pop these out all day.
Mechanically, flight is pretty strong, especially when you don't have to concentrate on it.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Okay. It's strong. I don't. Thematically, that I feel like that's one of the. I feel like giving something flying is thematically weaker.
Yeah.
But it is strong.
It's funny to me that like you get eagle wings for being good or lawful. Like, dude, I'm a freaking son of an angel. Like, let me just get angel wings.
Give me the angel wings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unearthly recovery. At 18th level, you gain the ability to overcome grievous injuries. As a bonus action, when you have fewer than half your hit points remaining, you can regain a number of hit points equal to half your hit point maximum. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So that's, I guess, depending on how many hit points you have, this can be very strong. As a bonus action, you basically heal from half to full.
Yeah.
As an 18th level, like as a cap for your subclass, it doesn't feel particularly strong, but it does feel thematic. So I'll give it that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when you're able to just be like, is it as a bonus action? Okay, bonus action.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of healing. There's not many things that do that much. So, one thing that I'll say in response to all of this is that, like, you know how people are like, you know how broken it would be if wizards got a healing ability? You know, like if they had access to the cleric spell? It's like, when... It's something that we should consider anytime that we look at any of these subclasses, I think.
Yeah.
Like the subclass as it fits into the class itself.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
You know what? Like, some of these maybe feel like, it's fine or whatever. Like, flying's broken, sure, but the other things are kind of like, whatever. You know what's broken as hell? I can twin spell healing word. That's broken.
Or heal.
Or heal. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's something I skipped over a little bit, and that is that you get access to the cleric spell list, which means you can use meta magic stuff on cleric spells, which is potentially very strong.
Oh, good.
That is what makes this class. I mean, that is what makes this class is that you can use cleric spells. You can essentially resurrect 2 people for the price of 1, both spell slot wise and material wise, and that can be important or not depending on your campaign.
Totally. Absolutely. I am this ish, and every time I went through spells, I was like, I'm just going to focus on the cleric spell list, because that just feels like the point of this and breaks the hell out of it. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Yeah. And because of that, I think that this mechanically is an A.
Yeah. I think it's playing it feels unfair sometimes, so I'll put it out an A+ mechanically.
Okay. RP wise, I think that this is actually very good. If you can especially if you can point out those things like we were talking about earlier, where
Yeah.
clerics may not like you at all because they've had to essentially devote themselves to someone else
Right.
to get the things that you are getting naturally. So I think that that's interesting. Plus, that like it can in a campaign that can tie into an entire sort of story arc based on a god. So I think that RP wise, I think this is an A as well.
Yeah, I really think like sometimes you read the flavor text in some of these books and you're like, they're whatever. This is one where you're like, wow, that paragraph or two alone made me excited about this. Um, yeah, I watched Dune 2 on the plane today. It's just like, oh, this is Paul Atreides. Um, so yeah, I will also put. So I said A plus for the mechanics, just because like it in combination with Sorcerer, really good. As a subclass alone, it's probably lower, right? But like just knowing like, oh, you get meta magic with all these things.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to weigh that with it.
Yeah. And then RP, I'll say an A as well.
Okay.
So, because you can essentially be Jesus with this. Hooray for Judeo-Christian stories. All right, next one, Draconic Bloodline. I think this was in the PHB. So,
Yes,
get ready, everyone. Your innate magic comes from draconic magic that was mingled with your blood or that of your ancestors. Most often, sorcerers with this origin trace their descent back to a mighty sorcerer of ancient times who made a bargain with a dragon, or who might even have claimed a dragon parent. Ooh. Some of these bloodlines are well established in the world, but most are obscure. Any given sorcerer could be the first of a new bloodline as a result of a pact or some other exceptional circumstance. So if you want to play in the Shrek universe, Donkey and the Dragon.
I am of draconic bloodline, also donkey bloodline.
Donkey. Dragon ancestor, the first level you choose one type of dragon as your ancestor and the damage type associated with it. So the typical colors, so black for acid, green for poison, red for fire, so on and so forth. That'll come up throughout this thing. You can speak, read, and write Draconic, so you get a free language there. Additionally, whenever you make a charisma check, when interacting with dragons, your proficiency bonus is doubled if it applies to the check. So all those times that you are talking to a dragon in your campaigns, be glad you have your
one time.
I will say, like, something that I think is very charming about D&D is that, like, they give you, like, I think it'd be fun to play more thematic. Like, I want to do, like, an entire campaign on the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, stick. I get to use that one warlock that's about being underwater and stuff. Or like this. It's like, okay, we're going to have a dragon-heavy campaign. So, like, this, and then isn't there a fighter that's like a... Or, no, the ranger. The
Fey one?
The ranger that has... No, the dragon ranger.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Beastmaster, but just specifically dragons. Anyway. Alright, Draconic Resilience. As magic flows through your body, it causes physical traits of your dragon ancestors to emerge. At first level, your hit point maximum increases by 1 and increases by 1 again whenever you gain a level in this class. So you get a little bit tankier. Additionally,
like a extra 2 con, essentially.
Is that what it is? 2 con equals 1 hit point?
Well, because 2 con score, 1 con modifier.
Okay, yeah. Additionally, parts of your skin are covered by a thin sheen of dragon-like scales. When you aren't wearing armor, your AC equals 13 plus your dex modifier. So, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's funny, sorcerers are like deceptively... They have a d6 for their hit die, but like you get... A lot of times, like, con is your second stat that you want, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of characters it is. It obviously, your mileage may vary, but con is a good stat for any character. Yeah,
that's true. I just know that, like, in our campaign, I think I have the second most hit points of the group.
Yeah, and
which
it
is
also
crazy.
tends to it kind of double dips because sorcerers are proficient in con saves, so
Right.
extra fun for concentration spells.
I've heard the argument that sorcerers should use con as their spellcasting modifier, and I love that idea. But it'll also be really stupid strong. But anyway.
Yeah.
Um, Elemental Affinity. So this is 6th level. When you cast a spell that deals damage of the type associated with your draconic ancestry, you can add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. At the same time, you can spend 1 sorcery point to gain resistance to that damage type for 1 hour. It doesn't say if it's an action, bonus action, or reaction.
I think it's when you cast a spell, so it doesn't take. It's a free action as long as you're using an action or a bonus action to cast a spell that deals that type of damage. So, yeah, I mean that's fine. An extra at 6th level, likely an extra 3 or 4 damage.
Yeah. 1 damage roll.
Let's see,
Yeah,
and you can do it every time.
Yeah.
So it's
like kind of like a free hex almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
As long as you and I mean it's obviously going to depend on what spells you take. Everyone doesn't take fire because firebolt and fireball are like the strongest spells. So.
But if you're cool and you just don't do like the whatever.
If you're cool and take poison and everything's resistant or immune to it, then you're great.
Yeah. You're cool though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're cool if you do that. You could pick brass because that's also fire.
Yeah.
It is interesting that would really dictate your spell list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, guess I'm not taking lightning bolt. Anyway.
Yeah, which I mean is both cool and uncool. Like it's cool that it helps you sort of theme into your character, but it's a little less cool that it's like you do get restricted a little bit, especially if you choose one of the ones like poison, where lots of monsters have immunity or resistance to it.
Look at us telling you what's cool and what's not cool, guys.
That's what you're tuning in for.
Yeah.
To know what's cool.
Okay. Dragon wings at 14th level. You gain the ability to sprout a pair. I know, right? You get dragon wings, gaining a flying speed equal to your current speed. You can create these wings as a bonus action on your turn. They last until you dismiss them as a bonus action on your turn. You cannot manifest wings while wearing armor unless the armor is made to accommodate them, and clothing not made to accommodate your wings might be destroyed when you manifest them.
Okay.
So,
it seems like a strange... It seems like a strange extra bit of text there. Yeah. But okay. Sure.
So if you feel like 14, you heard that already, you did. Okay, 18th level, Draconic Presence. You can channel the dread presence of your dragon ancestor, causing those around you to become awestruck or frightened. As an action, you can spend 5 sorcery points to draw on this power and exude an aura of awe or fear, your choice, to a distance of 60 feet. For 1 minute or until you lose your concentration as if you were casting a concentration spell. Each hostile creature that starts its turn in this aura must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed, if you choose awe, or frightened, if you choose fear, until the aura ends. A creature that succeeds on the saving throw is immune to your aura for 24 hours.
I think this is so terrible.
It is kind of, but this is mech anus right here.
This is mech anus, that's right. This one is okay, so by the time you're 18th level, if you're fighting something, it likely will have a legendary resistance to not be affected by this if it isn't already immune to charmed and or frightened.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that it takes like a quarter of your sorcery points, and plus the fact that it's a concentration. Like it's so bad. This is so you would have to be so situational that you would have to be like, I don't know, heading towards a big bad and like it was a village full of like goblins that worshipped it, and there you could use it, I guess. But at that point,
Yeah.
you could just fireball them all and kill them. Like, I don't know. This one feels
Yeah.
very, very, very lackluster for a subclass capstone to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is kind of funny. Like, how many of like the players? It'd be interesting to go through like the books by subclass, like the player's handbook subclasses versus like Tasha's.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
like
kind of funny.
examine the power creep.
Yeah, because this does feel like. I mean, considering that most people never get to these levels,
Yeah.
this is okay. But that 18th is like, dude, there's so many ways that you could just like, don't make it concentration anymore. It's a freaking aura. Like,
yeah, like don't make it concentration. It doesn't need that. It like that's just like that is the kick in the nuts at the end of the getting like stabbed in the chest, right?
yeah,
It's like charmed and frightened are not particularly strong conditions mechanically, and then it's like, well, also it's going to take, well, at 18th level it's technically taking slightly more than a quarter of your sorcery points to use,
right.
and you got to concentrate on it. So if you had a concentration spell before you did this, that's gone.
Yeah,
Or if you try to cast one after this, then this is gone. It's so weak.
yeah,
I do not like it.
yeah. This one's tough. I mean, there's just so. I get that they were like, how do we copy paste this? Like, oh, you're a dragon, like, because this really is like, well, that's basically it. Is it? It's a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I feel like that this could have been better if it was like you, call upon the strength of a dragon, the dragon in your bloodline, and you like are basically essentially giving you a dragon talon or tail attack that you could use,
Yeah.
like once or twice or whatever per long rest.
Or you can just turn into a dragon.
That would be sweet. That would be awesome.
No, and no bigger than, what is it, large, and then what's the one after that, giant?
Yeah, I mean, like you could essentially because at 18th level you have what is it, true polymorph, where you can turn yourself into a dragon.
Yeah.
This is 18th level. You've already got that spell slot. Why not just make it that? That would be perfect.
And you can continue to cast spells from it. Like,
Yeah.
that would be super good, but it's also freaking 18th level. Like,
Yeah, that would be very strong. But it would basically it would essentially be, here's an extra 9th level spell slot, which I think also is acceptable for an 18th level sorcerer. That is way better. If it had that, I would be excited about it. But it has this, and it's so underwhelming.
it's funny with like capstone things for subclasses and classes, when like the sorcerer capstone is crap with the 4 sorcery points, and then this is just like, by the way, if you're playing a sorcerer and you're going to level 20, please multi-class. Like, that's what this says to me. It's just like, yeah. Unless you want 9th level spells, I guess. But then it's like, okay, then I'm going to pick cleric or something else that. Oh, it just feels bad. This is bad.
Yeah, how can you get a 9th level spell slot back from meta magic, or does it cap at 5th? It caps at 5th, right? I guess I can.
You can spell. Yeah, I mean, like the creating spell slots. Is that what you're referring to? Is like sorcery point conversion?
Yeah.
The chart caps at 5th.
Yeah, so it caps at 5th.
Oh, no higher than 5th. Yeah.
So I think that even if you could turn into a dragon,
that would be cool.
I think that it would even be worth even like somewhere between 7 and 10 sorcery points, right?
Yeah.
It would be worth it because it's essentially a 9th level spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
like you could put a time cap on it. You could put a size restriction on it. You could like give it like a stat block.
Yeah, there's already a spell that does this.
Yeah.
With true polymorph. So
that's true. And restricting it to, because true polymorph you could turn into anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, including a dragon. So I feel like just turn into a dragon would be miles better. Yeah, if I were playing this in a campaign, I would talk to my DM about changing this to you can
Yeah.
turn into a dragon.
Dude. And you can even make it the color that you picked from the start. So
Yeah, that's what
You're
I would
restricted.
obviously do. It's like you turn if you
Yeah.
pick brass at the beginning, you turn into a brass dragon. That would be so sick.
Man, this is so easy. We should write a book. This is easy.
This is so easy. Okay, but
Okay.
as is, without our
Yeah.
mega cool changes for draconic
Yeah,
presence.
This is A. Oh wait, never mind. Without that.
Yeah, without our changes, I think this is pretty weak mechanically.
Yeah.
Really, you just get like a little bit of extra con and a little bit higher AC, and then you get flight at 14th level.
Yeah.
And
then
you get a little
hex.
bit like a bonus hex, I guess, which is that's probably the strongest mechanically strongest thing about this subclass. I think this is like with that capstone. Like this,
Yeah.
I'll give it a C plus because the hex is strong, especially if you don't have to concentrate on it.
It doesn't even get bonus spells like the other things do.
Yeah.
Like that's what's like. Okay, player's handbook. So I will give it just a passing grade. Congratulations. These get degrees.
Yep.
2.0.
RP wise, I think it's actually pretty interesting. Like especially if you're in a campaign where you can run into a dragon or two, I think it is very strong.
There's that thing you can make a charisma check and get double proficiency.
Yeah,
like that is
expertise
kind
in it.
of
that's cool. I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, RP wise, I'm giving it an A because that seems super cool to me to be
man. You can be Shrek, Donkey Dragon.
Shrek Donkey Dragon.
Oh my gosh! All right. Okay.
What do you give it?
Yeah, I like C for mechanics. I'll go one lower than you, and then as far as RP, I think it's a B. Like it's like okay, cool. Dragons are cool, but that's
Yeah, I think your mood there convinced me as well. I think I'm going to knock the RP down to a B plus.
If you can be Shrek Donkey, then yeah, let's S tier.
S tier. There you go.
I'm the son of Eddie Murphy, who had sex with a dragon.
All right, so there you go. We will finish up the last four in the next episode of the podcast. Thank you for talking with me. Thanks everyone for listening. And if you have any topics that you want us to cover, please let us know in the YouTube comments or wherever you can put them, and we'll try to cover them if you think that they're worth a discussion.
Text Isaac at.
Don't dox me, bro.
I don't even know the area code for Southern California. What is it out there?
Joke's on you. That's not what my area code is.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
All right, so thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time with part 2. Bye.
Bye.